So it's a developer guide from Salesforce itself. Okay, and it will be very useful when you are starting newly on the components. Okay, and it's a description part only. And uh, if you go into deep into this, it will guide you how what are the components tags that you are going to use, how you will call a function from JavaScript, how you will handle the handler and all. Okay, so if you guys are not able to understand this, I can walk you through this origin section. But at present, I'll start with the our components project. It will like I'll explain while doing the this exercise also. Okay, I think that will be helpful.
Yeah, so do we really need to know about the Lightning component before we start this Aura components?
No, see, the naming convention says when you say lightning components, either it can be a Aura component or lightning web component. Okay, until unless you specifically go to that thing and see, you will not understand. As a user on the UI, you will not get to know what is the backend thing that you used. For you, it's normal thing.
Okay. It is all about the tags or that
Yeah,
Aura component enable we use.
correct. So basically, in the web components, mostly like it will go with HTML. Okay, and in both the things, our components and web components, in both scenarios, we will be having a JavaScript handlers. Okay, and helper methods to support the thing. Okay, that is also one of the part actually. Without knowing the JavaScript, you cannot work on this or components or web. So that is also like you need to start. Let's see that with a small example, you will understand what are the things that we use and at least what are the elements that will be there in a component. Okay, so let's start with this. So now, okay, as said, we will be using both the things. So one is JavaScript and the other one is the Apex controllers. Okay, the Apex controllers as a class is nothing but from our server side. Okay, and JavaScript is from the client side. So client side is nothing but like we interact on the JavaScript. Okay, the UI thing, what you will take, and the HTML fields that you will put. So that will be passed through the JavaScript, and it will call. It will call the another Apex controller. So don't be going blank. So it's just starting, and even if you're not able to understand at this point of time, that is fine. But keep concentrate on this. When we are about to complete this model, you will get a idea. Okay. At present, you can concentrate what are the things are the terminals that we are using here. Okay. Okay. So in this Lightning component framework, okay, so it's a bit detail is there in this link. We can go through that. So here we'll concentrate how we'll write these things and how we'll get the component, the design part actually. Okay. So here build an Apex controller. So this Apex controller is nothing but as well our Apex class. Okay. But if you like you might have seen a Apex class design with starting with from this line number. You may or may not be seeing this in some of the classes or I enable this annotation at the rate and whatever you put here, this we will call or enable. It's an annotation. Okay, with this that we are telling boss this class we are using in the or component. Okay, so when you mention this annotation at the rate or enable, that the compiler will read it and will understand. Okay, so this is something they are using in the Lightning component, the other component that we have used. Okay, that is the reason they have mentioned. So it will understand clearly and it will not throw any further error. Clear, guys? This only. So not only this, there are other annotations also. that will come like when we actually go into the development part. Okay. So for when you are working with Aura components, do remember this. You need to specify this annotation on top of your class. Remember this point.
So every time I should use the Aura event.
Yeah. So every time in sense, for example, this method, okay, this class or this method, actually this method you are using in or a component. For example, okay, so we will get the thing when we go further. So actually what we will do, this method, right, I think in the previous example somewhere, I have explained a bit the class, how it looks like from where to where how we'll pass the parameters, how the method will get called. Okay. So similar way, so
Yes.
it is a method, okay, of public type and static, okay, and the return type is list of contact, okay. So that means it will return list of contact records. So here it's a standard object, right? So that is the reason you can there is no underscore c. So remember that. And get contacts is the method name. Okay, this method name is get contacts, and we are passing the inside braces. You can see, right, these two, open and closed. Okay, so inside these two braces, whatever we specify, okay, not only this, in general, whatever you specify, those we will call as a parameters, method parameter. So here
Yes.
record id is one parameter of which type? It is of id type. Okay, for example, I can put one more parameter, let's say string, and I will put a name. Okay, here name is one more method parameter of type string. Okay, so depends on your requirement, how you are passing the parameters, how you are calling, depends on that you can specify your parameters. Okay, so to call this method, okay, remember, so this is method signature. Okay, this entire thing we will call it as a method signature. In this method signature, the thing whatever you define in parameters, those parameters you need to supply to this get contacts. From wherever you are calling this get contacts, no? So from there you need to supply. So here record id is a one of the variable. What is record? This is of type of id. So one id you need to pass this to when method whenever you are calling. Then only this method will get called and it will return this. So in the second line, what they are returning, because we have defined the return type here. Okay, so this is of list of contacts, right? So return type we have defined. So you can see the from when you it's a SQL query. Okay, this we will call SQL query, Salesforce Object Query Language. We use this to query the data from the database. Okay, what it is returning select id, so it is querying id, first name, last name, email, phone, all these are fields. Okay, and what object? Contact object. From means contact. Where and where we will use to specify the condition. Okay, the filter. Okay, in configuration you say in the filters and all, right? So here to filter out to narrow down your results, okay, we will use this where condition. So where account id is equal to the record id. Okay, that means this record id should be of type of account id. Okay, then if you pass some xyz account id, then it will do the comparison, and if it is matched, then it will return the list of contacts. So similar way, like it will not change. Now, if you write like thousands of lines also, the public means the access modifiers will, it says the definition will be same. Okay, and static, whether it is a static method, and if I mean you might be knowing this static or non-static ones, right? So
Yes.
the calling will be different. Okay, you need to define like instance. Without instance also you can get the call. So return type. So if here we have defined as return type a list of contacts, that's why we are returning this. For example, if I put a string or number, something like that, okay, or list of accounts, then I need to return account here, not contact. So this from will get changed. Okay, depends on this. Whatever the thing is specified, this should be there. Okay, if you forgot to return this, then you will not be able to save the class. It will throw an error saying missing return statement. Okay, so let me launch the playground also, because it will be easy to explain you, because this will take time to get into. So let me take the same class. Yesterday I told you, right? I want to open developer console now. From where I need to. So now I open. So they want to create this class. I copied it. So should I told to create a new components, where we will go file, then new, and choose what type of component you are going to create. So I'm going to create this Apex class. It is done. So class name again given okay. So they want to copy this method. Okay. So till here you got right. So this is the class name and the access modifier. So it is defined as class. That means it's a class. Okay. And remember, like when you are learning it first time, like you may get confused. So open brace, close brace are there. That is a method. Simple identification. Okay. And it is the curly braces is open and ended with the curly brace, that we will call the class. I think it's too much basic, but so now let's save this. So they want to verify. Let's launch. So the thing is, like, you got this, at least these two lines, what we are doing and what is the use of this. You got it right. So in this, like, we are going to create a Aura component. Okay. So anybody have idea how we'll create our? So from the same, like, Aura component is nothing but one of the component. Okay. One of the item that we'll use in the development. Okay. So just now we have created a Apex class, right? In similar way, we'll choose the component type as Aura. Let's go.
But sorry, one more question here. So when you
Yeah.
open this Apex class, so you have put the the annotation arrow enabled. So how is it different from our normal Apex class? So I think without the annotation also, it will execute the same
Yes.
thing, correct?
Yeah, if you, I mean, if you remove this, there is no difference in between your normal class and this. Okay. With this, like, when you define this annotation, like, the compiler will know. Okay, this is, for example, like, let's say in another reverse way. So if you are removing this annotation, is this is not there. Okay, let me comment it. So even if I try to save, it gets saved, right? So
Yeah.
there is no error. So it's a normal class. Okay. So this thing, for example, I want to use this method inside my Aura component. Okay. So I said there is a controller, right? When we are working on the Aura components, controller will be there. Okay. So when you define this, okay. So when you go into this, we'll get it. Okay. So when you define the controller as this, what the compiler will do, it will actually go to this class. Okay. And it came here. Now it will scan this class and it will look for this annotation. Okay. If any of the method is having this annotation, then it is fine. If none of the methods are having this annotation, then it will throw an error here, not here. Okay, this is normal class. Sorry. You got it, right?
Yes, now clear.
So that is the use of this. If you so why they have asked you to create the class first is because they want to set up your controller first, because we are going to use this controller in the other component, and they asked you to put this annotation. Okay, so let's see the thing here. So let's create this component. Name, description you can give, it's fine. So lightning card paste they want to enable. Yeah. So here when so you guys might be remember, right? So when you are creating a new object, there are certain check boxes, not only object. When you are creating an application, when you are creating a custom field, so there are some optional check boxes are given, right? So for example, when you create a field, so it will ask you to whether it is required field or not required field. Okay, so but everything is has specific meaning behind that. Okay, when you check those check boxes, it will have a specific meaning. Okay, similar to that. So when you create a component here, lightning component, so these are the things it's coming in. Okay, so first thing is lightning tab. So instead of like, it's not a required thing or mandatory thing that you need to select all this. Okay, so once you done creating this component, you can still go to the setup and tabs and create a new lightning tab. So that will also work. There is no force option here. Okay, but you want to create now itself, then you can create. It's a same thing. And lightning page for this loading and all. So you might have seen this flexi pages, right? Similar to that page, record page, only when you are trying to display. So here contact list, right? For contact list, you want to display the contact object fields and all in a like just like a page layout. So you want to define that, you can choose this. Experience builder site page, no, will not choose because it will hang you there. Like it will take a lot of time to get it load. So generally we won't check that. And lightning quick action. So this will help. For example, clicking on a button. If someone clicks on one button, we want to execute this Aura component thing, the backend thing we want to execute. So in that case, you can use this lightning. Okay. So do you create any button? First thing, new button or action, or at least you remember. Yeah, when you go to Object Manager, field and relationships below that, there is one more section.
Buttons.
Yeah. So buttons and actions are there. So when you choose button, it's a different category. When you choose an action, it will ask you to choose what type of action, whether you want to perform a lightning quick action. So if so in previous classes, as I told, so when you are developing something, you need to keep all the things in your mind. Okay, what are the things I can use in the future? So with that state of mind, you need to start the development. So now if I think like I need to go and create one button with this lightning action, then I will select this. Okay, so that I will, whenever I click that new action, I will tag this component to that button. But what will happen when someone will go and click that button? So eventually this will get called, this component will get called, and the result will be displayed. So they want to just create a lightning record page. Let's see. Okay, so add a reference to the thing here. Can you see at the top here?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see this? Now we have just created a component, and inside this there is nothing. Okay, so let me copy this and explain what are the things like each and tag what it will be there here. So whatever the component, I mean not whatever. So when you start working on a component, remember this is mandatory. You need to start with this Aura. So the Angular brackets open Aura colon component, because you are defining your component, right? You can see the extension here, my contact list dot cmp. So automatically it came. Okay, we have not given this .cmp. Okay, since we have created this component thing, automatically it has appended with .cmp. It will, that means component cmp. Okay, here controller. So whatever the things that you are going to use, if you define controller, so it's a, let's assume here controller is a variable and this is a value. Okay, for easy understanding, controller is a variable here and we have assigned this. And remember, you need to put in a double quotes. Implements. So this is a keyword that you will use. So what are the futuristic things? Are the things which are provided here. Okay. So did I copy it correctly? Let me see. Implements. Yeah. I think, let me minimize. Okay. You can still see, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So this implement FlexiPace is a component coming from Salesforce only. Okay. So have you guys ever prepared a pack? You guys still working in Lightning only, right?
Yes.
So then you should be aware of the you see this, right? You see this page. Okay. So if you open this, I think we can still go here. I don't think so. They have defined here. Okay. So anyway, it says Salesforce trail leader. Okay, leave it. So, but you might have seen a Lightning page with the same sections and all, just like a page layout thing, right? So that is for us, like it will show you as a UI component. But behind that, so what is the API that we use for that is FlexiPace. When you create a component, or if you do some changes on the page, and you want to create a package and deploy it to some other org, the component name it will be FlexiPace. Okay. So available for record home. So standard thing, FlexiPace, it's a one page, right? One UI page. That page name is available for record home. And again, force, this is standard, has record ID. That means we are telling the compiler, bus, it's going to have one record ID. Okay. So based on that record, wherever you mention a record ID, so whatever the record or wherever this component has triggered, okay, that record ID will get loaded here and access global. So when you mention global, this can be accessed all over this arc. Okay, and remember, like you need to end up with this slash. This backward slash is there, right? So not only for this ending this component, even if you open anything, so you might be knowing the do you guys know HTML at least?
Yes.
HTML, yeah. So you know the
Yes.
tag, you know the tags, right? Anchor tags. How you will write? Huh? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So similar to that, it will work. The closing, opening, and closing, and commenting also. So the same thing, like for, okay, we will get all the things. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. So let's get that inside thing. What are the things we have inside that? Okay. Copy it. Next. Okay. So from second line, Aura attribute. Okay. So this Aura language have some attributes defined. Okay. So you, like in your general Apex classes and all, so you will define your variables. Yeah. So same example you can take, like number, a decimal, some x equal to this. Okay. Similar to that, here also with this tag, attribute tag, we will also define the name of the variable of type ID here. Again, name of type of account. Again, one more variable, contacts of type account, columns of type of list. Okay. So this type, what you read here, it's a programming. Okay. The available types, it will accept if you given of type of object or the maps, the collection variables or standard ID and all, it will accept. So in general, what are the data types you know, right? When you are going to create some fields and all, the data types you might see in there. Correct, na? Yeah, it is a bit different here because when those are the standard things coming from Salesforce. Because we thought like, okay, the thing which is coming from Salesforce is not enough for us. We have taken our customization. So in customization, at least should have some flexibility, right? So that is the reason they went out of the box functionality here and given all these types and all. Okay, so this section from here to here, okay, this section is defined attributes or nothing but the variable declaration. Okay, in the normal terms, how we will define your variables. So this, so why they have defined all these things here? Because they are going to use in the next part of logic. Okay, so you can see this record ID they have used here. Okay, and account they have used here, contacts. So while returning that, the contact list will here, it will come up here. Okay, similar to that, the columns like list by list, I mean row by row, it should come up, right? So for that they have defined here the type of list. Okay, so next thing, the force, again the standard, because the record data you can see, right? So the force.com will be having all this what we call like these standard things. Okay, as record ID we have mentioned, so that what type of record it is getting load, that record data we are trying to capture here. Okay, and Aura ID, it's not mandatory, but when you are working or when you want to reuse the thing, the same logic and all somewhere, you need to mention your Aura ID. Okay, so this Aura ID is nothing but in your Apex class. Okay, you will give the name, right? Class name. With that class name and method name, you will call the logic. Correct, na? So here also it's kind of identification. Okay, what type of Aura ID? So this from where it started and where it ended. So this Aura ID, if you want to reuse somewhere, you need to give some identification, right? So some kind of like with this ID. So this is the identification of this entire record. If you represent this, this will come automatically. Correct, na? So similar to that, the logic, if you instead of writing the same logic and again, you can refer to this Aura ID. Okay, this Aura ID can call and the logic will come automatically. Getting?
Yeah.
So account record is a name.
Yes, this Aura ID that we have defined. Na? So particular logic that you are going to define here, but that it's an identification. Combinedly, it will come account record.
So we can take it as a reference for future
Yeah.
purpose.
Correct. So for example, I want to create one more component. Okay. So basically this Aura thing and the Lightning Web Components thing came up because of the like it's ongoing is very demanding, right? So you will come up with many requirements instead of writing the same code and making headache for the servers. So these are the reusable things. Okay, so with the same logic, why you need to again write it down again? Instead of that, you can just call this, right? So the reusability, to increase the reusability, they have come up with this. Okay, so this record ID, what type of record ID? So we have given this declare the one variable right here. So that this is declaration, this is an assignment. With what we are assigning here, v means variable assignment here. Okay, the record ID. So what we already told, right, to the compiler that it is having a record ID. So in whatever the record ID it has loaded, that will be assigned to record ID variable. So just like x equal to 9, something like we assign, right? So here 9 is the record ID which is loaded here, and it will assign to this. Target fields. The target fields we have defined for the account. Okay, and layout, right, the page layout. Okay, so in here we will mention with this keyword as layout type. So we want full layout. Guys, any questions? Okay.
Yes. So from where I can get the record ID or the account?
No, it's not yet completed. So that's why I told, when you
Okay.
see all the things, as of now, like, understand how the declaration is done and how the assignment is done. Okay, from where it will get load, that we will see. Okay, still it's we need to go, right? Yeah. So lightning, this colon card is something like it will come up a like kind of dialog box. You might have seen one. It will open kind of one small window thing, right? So like that it will come, and that name they have defined with the contact, because the contact is standard. So with the standard thing they have defined here, and title. So for that, when you open this contact list for the account dot name, v dot account dot name they have given, right? So instead of this, it will fetch the actual account name. For example, we have a ABC account. Okay, then it will come like contact list for ABC. Okay, and the contact list will be coming here. So piece by piece they are trying to explain here in this model. Okay, so till here you are confused with anything, or do you find anything not familiar?
What is the
Full
meaning of
mix.
full?
Yeah. So actually the intention, I mean this model intention, you like if you read at the top, you will get here somewhere they have mentioned to display, I think in the previous section only. So their intention to get list of contacts list. So they are specifying it, right? List of contacts of a particular account to display in a tabular format. Okay. So to get that, so either you can mention, if you mention full means whatever the your UI screen size is there, no? So it will auto adjust to that window size and it will display in full format. So just like this is full. Okay, this white screen and all. Okay, if you don't want to display in that layout type full, so you can give your column. So this much width I need, this much length I need. So you can define your custom things. Okay, so I just explained, right? So you can also read out those things here for getting more understanding. So they are explaining about the our attribute, which as I said, like it stored the variable declaration to store the data. Okay, the current account. See, you can read this. The ID of the current account record page. Data service there, record data. So that account record data, it will come here to store this field values. Okay, I think you can go through this and read out. So these tags are the like these are the very repetitive things. Okay, so I can tell you like Aura colon component is standard thing. You need to define a controller. It will be there. Like if you are expecting some controller to be triggered, and you need to mention that. Same. If you are using out of box functionality and you want to reuse those implement, it will be same. And access you need to define. So these are the repetitive things. Once you get to know how you need to start writing this, automatically it will come. So after defining your controller thing and defining your component, next what we will do, like what are the things? Okay, so the what you are developing, that should be in your mind. You should be clear about that. What we are going to develop. Okay, so first right, like how you draw a flow chart when you are solving a problem, from where you will start and how you will declare your variables and okay, similar to that, what are the variables that you can declare here. So don't bother about that. Once you declare those are a final. No, it's not a final. Still, I can come here, add one more line. So I can go here. So I think like when I'm doing the logic, either it's required to mention one more. I can come here and I define my variables. Okay, getting guys?
Yes.
So don't think like it's only the first time only you need to declare all the thing. No, it's not. Okay, you can define it anywhere. So based on actually how it will work is, so since you already define your controller, okay, so the actual logic lies in the controller. What we will do, that will lies in the controller, and based on that how they are doing, how you are displaying here. So this Aura component is nothing but the UI component. Okay, so this layout is nothing but a UI, right? Where you can see this. Okay, how you will see, in which format you are seeing it, all this. Okay, so it's not a big thing. You will easily get these things. Okay, don't bother about this. It's not a new thing. You already heard about a lot this. Okay,
So instead of this, can I use the Visual Studio?
so visual.
Means for the editor, can I use the Visual Studio to write all the codes?
Yeah, you can use. So this area, this is a standard thing, out of the box thing that Salesforce provided. Okay, Visual Studio is not a Salesforce thing. Okay, that's a third party editor where you will install some plugins and all, make contact with your org. Okay, and
Okay.
see, even it's a even I can write the things in my notepad also. Here also I can write it, but this notepad is not having any connection to the org, right? So in your Visual Force, it's a kind of editor. Okay, but where it is having some connection, it will set up a connection. You can connect to the org with username and password, and the connection will be established. Once that is done, whatever you done, whatever you write on the screen, you can name it, put it as some name and save it to org. So that will directly save into org because the connection was there. Okay, so since it's a Salesforce provided thing, you are not externally doing installing anything. So automatically it will take this particular component and save it to the current application. That's it.
Got your points.
Yeah. So the better thing is like that will look like beautiful thing. Okay, when you write the code, and so the when you are typing something, automatically the word will come. So you can just press enter, then the word it will get automatically completed. And there are other features also. When you are doing the deployment continuously, the continuous deployment will call. Okay, so when you are working with some repositories, when you give repository something is there, and your team will do frequent deployments, so that will be useful. So if I use this develop console, you want to do deployment, I cannot do directly from here. I need to take this component to the chain set, create a outbound chain set, upload it to the targeted environment, I mean targeted arc, then go there and validate it, then deploy it. So that much process will be here. So that is connected, already connected to your args, right? So that is a easy way that is how you can go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I saved this. Right. Okay, so switch from recently we have to all accounts. Accounts we want to choose. Let's complete this. Okay. Okay. So we have this open. Why I'm going in detail now? Because they will not allow you to complete this if we miss a single point also. Okay, we have opened this align accounts. Okay, set point. Okay, they want to go and open. Edit. page. Okay, to launch the builder is launched. Okay, this is what I was explaining. So this account record page that we are modifying something here, right? So if you want to deploy this using a package, you need to put up with the tag of flexi page. Okay, we will get to know when we do all these things. So okay, drag your component from the custom component list and with top of right hand column above the activity component. Okay. So where this is, they want to drag here and put it. Okay. So we are just whatever we have done the thing. So we are adding it on the UI. So say button activate and assign as our default. Okay, for what? Desktop, click next. Okay, fine. And what else? Save and then back. Okay, this is one to save. So you guys got it right, like what I have done this.
Yes.
Yeah, I dragged the component, whatever the component we created, right? So to show up in the UI, I edited the page and added here, and to show in the desktop version or mobile version, they have so we had chosen desktop, and we saved it. Okay, then click back. So now when you go to this any of the code, it comes up here, like it looks like this. Still, if you see this logic, we have not written. Okay, so it's a lightning card, right? So you can see that it's showing as a card, but the records are not come up because we have not developed this logic here. Okay, so till now you got it right. So I want you guys also side by side this project you need to take care, and also this. If you don't have, just type this lightning or a common developer guide, you will get it. Okay, so it's in will like all the node annotations and the tags that we use, right? So it will have the exact meaning. They will give in a descriptive way. Okay, so for better understanding, side by side, you need to follow both and try to complete the modules on daily basis. Okay.